themselves first, and then in turn being able to lead others. Okay, so I'll stop there. And let's see what we've got in here. First of all, I'd say that how many people read this chapter? If you read the chapter, maybe you want to say one or two things about it. Chapter 12 of the book, Lead for a Selfless Organization. Is there any takers?
Yes, there is. So to lead for a selfless organization, one of the key aspects, and I just want to contribute to that so that we can
drive the conversation forward, yeah?
Yes. So let me kick off that conversation. If you can hear me, is to show
Loud and clear.
gratitude. Yeah. To show gratitude. And this is one of the highlights that is mentioned in the book. And I read here, it says, a selfless culture is rich in gratitude. As described in chapter 8, gratitude is the natural response to undertaking how interconnected we all are. And I love what you did, Oluwatoyin, and I also love that you had to comment on KOS being even able to be here tonight, right? And it shows who we are as a person. And I think one of the things that you had done this evening very brilliantly, even without looking at the script, is to show gratitude for KOS being present in our midst, because under normal circumstance, the reality is that she shouldn't be here. She wouldn't have been able to make it. But she showed up. And that I am very grateful for, you know. So as leaders, we need to always, as we lead people, work with people, we need to understand that we are connected in one way or the other. We should, even when you see your colleagues, your peers, your subordinates, maybe not even aligning to what you think should be the North Star at the moment, you need to still have the ability to show gratitude that we are here, that there's a better tomorrow, that we can do it together. I think it's very, very important. There was a lot of example that was given, and it says, and I may not be able to reiterate those examples, but I just want to read further. It says, gratitude is contagious. When leaders show appreciation and gratitude, there's likely to be a ripple effect. Showing gratitude towards someone is likely to inspire that person to thank other people. And I want to leave that conversation at that point, that we should remember to make it a tradition to show gratitude for everything and to everyone.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so, gratitude is sort of a, do I call it? It as a leader, gratitude should be one of the very key skills that we should practice, or we should imbibe as leaders, because generally speaking, from just from an individual perspective, or looking at it as individuals, we all love to be commended. We all love to, for people to tell us that we've done well when we do stuff. I think it was, I guess my pastor in church was speaking the other day, and he said, oh, usually when you show them gratitude, they say, oh, don't mention, don't bother, and we all pretend like we don't want people to, so to speak, give us those good, accolades, or those comments, those pats on the back. And what happens then is that the day that you don't get recognize, or you don't get someone does not appreciate what you have done, then you will know your true self, because that's when you say, oh, after all I've done for this person, they didn't even say thank you. But ordinarily we like to pose or position ourselves like we do not really want a thank you. We do not really want someone to give us, a thumbs up. So as leaders, these are the little things that we can do to show that, we appreciate our followers, we appreciate our team, and these are the things that can make it's like pouring in the engine oil. Like, you already have that big bulk or the mass of the mechanics in there, the engine, you got that big bulk, but what makes it move smoothly, what makes it grind on smoothly is, that little lubrication that you put in. So I would say gratitude is like, lubricating the it's the art of lubricating the mechanics of the whole thing, of the whole system itself. So when we learn to show appreciation, gratitude, it doesn't make us weaker as leaders. I see it as being in a stronger position, because people will be moved by our compassion, and that's where compassion comes in. When people see that you are compassionate as a leader, they can go any mile or go any length, to help in achieving our goals and targets as leaders. Remember, people work with us. Most times we think that people work for us, but they work with us, because when they are confident enough to deliver, when they give you the best from their performance, then basically, it reflects in your leadership results, in your leadership outcomes. So basically, whatever we're doing it for ourselves as leaders. And that's very important. Thank you very much for that angle which you brought to it, Princess. I appreciate that contribution. Okay, any other person wants to say something about this chapter, or generally what we just spoken about in terms of gratitude as a leader, expressing gratitude as a leader, before we just look at one or two things again in the chapter? Okay.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Dr. Mariah.
Okay, thank you, Princess, for that lovely contribution. I just want to say about that selfless organization culture is not about individual. It's all about collective mission and purpose. So it's people-centered, and a selfless culture means that all the team get the accolade. It's not centered on just one individual. And by so doing, everybody is taken along, everybody feels happy, feels appreciated, and that's one of the traits of a selfless leadership. So we should all imbibe that. We should carry our team along. We should not make it about ourselves, our individual. We should make it a teamwork, so that all of us get the accolade of the success of the organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Dr. Mariah. Okay, before any other person speaks, I'd just like to also highlight some of the other, elements in this chapter. Here we have reduced your status symbols, and I think generally what this reflects is just letting leaders understand that, yes, you are the CEO. Yes, you are the, so to speak, the alpha, the omega, but you cannot bring that to work every day. You cannot come to work in riding on your high horse and expecting, to have a very well functioning team, so to speak, because when you come in as a leader and people see you from the perspective of, oh, that's our CEO, and they can't even express themselves because the CEO is around, and they can't even, bring in their opinions. I mean, people are always afraid to speak to you. They're always, not in the mood to be around you, or because whenever you are around, everybody is like, shaking. That's not portraying a selfless culture, basically. So here we're being told, that we have to reduce that status symbol. Yeah, so I'll just add that to it. And here also it says employ selfless wisdom. Employ selfless wisdom. So if we have any points around this, we can also add, to that when we're speaking, just to let us know. Okay, I'll just still let me see who's in the house, because right now I haven't been checking. Let me see who has joined us. Okay, yeah, we've got more people. We got Lady Vosa, we got Engineer Ken joining us, and earlier when I mentioned Lady Ebonho. So any of us can just speak based on this. If you joined whilst we were speaking, today we're having a conversational type presentation, just discussing amongst ourselves this chapter, the chapter itself, chapter 12. So if you have any comments, for those of us who have read it, if you have any comments, or based on what we've said so far, you just want to throw in one or two things, please feel free to. Okay, so I'll just leave the floor open again to our next speaker.
If I may.
Yeah, you can come back and speak.
So, I mean, I wanted to talk to the aspect of reducing status symbol. And for me, it's very conflicting because I think in my organization, I'll use myself as an example. I tend to be able to lead, should I say, with a selfless mindset, where if you come into the organization, you're not likely to know if I'm the CEO or not. Your status is already defined, right? As much as in this book, they did mention that you, as a leader, you would naturally have the corner office. They would give you all the requisite, um, positioning that comes with your office. And you will have that, be it a CEO or associate level manager. You have all of that. Comes with your office. However, if you remember the presentation I did, I think it was the second day, right, for this particular book, and I did paint a picture of how a selfless organization should be. We shouldn't be able to identify you as the leader standing out. It should be a seamless outlook of people working together. I don't know if you remember that picture. I think I
Very much.
labeled A and B, right?
Yes,
but that
right.
notwithstanding, the power is still bestowed on you to be the leader. Everybody knows that you are the boss, you're the CEO. You still have that status, right? And you will still have all the paraphernalia of your office, be it a corner office, be it the best cars, be it your PA and people working with you. But I think it should be able to integrate nicely into the organization, a selfless culture, whereby people really should not be able to, um, you know, target you as this is our CEO is coming. Let me swing by and hide, stuff like that. You should be able to integrate seamlessly because in my organization, you really wouldn't know. I can come into that supermarket, for instance, and customers will be talking to the staff, and you will never know that this is the CEO that is present. Most times I pick up the basket and I'll, go round with the customers and any of the client that is on ground, and it will take them at least nothing less than 30 minutes before they begin to identify that, oh, this is my boss. It is only when the staff mentions that, oh, madam, okay, you want to ask for discount or you did have any issues the other time, please, this is my boss, you can speak to her. We should be able
Yeah.
to integrate this MSC culture into our organization. And that is when it becomes seamless, easy for client to even associate. And there's is a win-win, right? Because it's a gain to you. People always want to tilt to speak to the CEO or the C-suite manager. But if you can empower your people such that on their own, they have that confidence, I think is a big win for your organization.
Yeah,
Even though
that's
I
a
love the
very
corner office, I usually will go sit in a particular place that tells you this is the CEO's, seat. And that's where I said it's a conflict, but you should be able to do it and integrate it into the organization such that it doesn't really have that ranking.
yeah.
Nobody can see it.
Okay, beautiful deposition there. But also let me play the devil's advocate a bit and also maybe speak a bit of Kemi's mind. Though Kemi is here, she will speak her mind soon, because I'll soon call on her. But why I said speak Kemi's mind, I'm just imagining the kind of conversations that Kemi has. She would be very real and direct and say, okay. So for me, I'm thinking about this because this book was written by people in the Western world, and of course they also have this evolving culture of the sort of, I can't remember what these companies are called now, these latest tech companies and the rest of them, where they have people like their CEOs wearing t-shirts to the office, even the way they dress, even the way they relate and everything else, you can't really, like you said, they don't stand out as the CEO when you just see them. If one has not told you this is the CEO of this company, you might even miss it. And in terms of their selfless culture and everything that they try to create in such environments or in such organizations. But when you bring it back home, to, let's say, other parts of the world where, for instance, I believe in Japan, in China, some other parts of the world where they might have this kind of hierarchical type organizations, and also back home, of course, in God's own country, Nigeria, where you have, our culture. I can imagine Engineer Ken is listening to this and saying, my CEO or the head of my organization is not somebody that would just walk into their office anyhow, or would just speak to anyhow. So basically, when you look at it from that sort of angle, how can we, because we're talking about leaders now being selfless, putting themselves, reducing their status symbols and everything. But we know that doesn't happen often in, developing countries, so to speak, where the leaders really want to show you, even from the way they drive into the office, the entourage they come with, even from the way they would, everybody would clear the way. I remember a very practical example. I remember there was a young man that just joined the company. He was very happy to be part of that. It was a bank, and he was working in the headquarter office of that bank in Lagos. And he never knew that there was this golden rule of you don't go on that particular elevator, right? And even if you happen to be in that particular elevator that takes the CEO, the chairman, by the way, the chairman CEO is now late. I don't want to mention the name of that bank or that organization on this platform, but he went on that elevator, and then unfortunately for him, the CEO got onto the elevator same time. And rather than, him finding a way to jump out like a bug, an uninvited bug, he he did the usual greetings and introduction. Oh, good morning, sir. My name is this, blah, blah, blah. I'm new here, and I think that was his last day, because before, according to the story, maybe it was exaggerated, but I don't know. Before he got to his office, his manager already had the news, and they were already preparing his his sack letter, basically, his dismissal letter. So you can imagine, for a young lad who just started work, he didn't understand the culture of the organization, that you dare not go on this elevator, and this is exactly what this a portion of the chapter is speaking to. CEOs, leaders generally, trying to behave as if they are, kings, rather than, have a selfless culture where they can embrace people, no matter how little they are, whether you are the janitor in the organization or whatever. Okay, so I'll just stop there. I don't know if anyone has a comment. Now I've mentioned Engineer Ken. Maybe Engineer Ken wants to say something to that point.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening, sir. Welcome.
You are looking for trouble. You see, let's be factual about what we just saying. This slavery mentality was introduced by the white themselves when they came to Africa, when they were colonizing us. And we copied it after they left. And they are now evolving and realizing that it doesn't work well. And they are now bringing it back to us as business leaders to imbibe. The truth is that what you said is the reality. Imagine, depending on our culture, let's pick the culture, the various culture, Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo. You see your CEO, some bootlickers, call them bootlickers, they'll be lying down just to be noticed. And even the leader will find it difficult, coupled with the mentality he already had, that is the matter, while others are servants. So it's a difficult thing, agreed. It will only take training and retraining. And for a mindful organization, that want to grow, that want to change. Except so, mostly in the private sector, but in the government business, you won't get that. It won't work.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate your contribution there. Okay, so I'll just go on to others in the house. David, do you want to say something about this topic? Is it still around anyways? David, are you there? Let me see. Not sure David is still on with us. Okay, so I'll just move to the next person. Okay, so Lady Ovosa, are you able to speak? Hello, Lady Ovosa. I hope you're back in the country. Good evening, Ma. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I've been
welcome back.
Yeah, but I really don't have much of. I really can't say anything.
Yeah.
I've not read, and while I was on the program, they were calling me, so I didn't.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
So
it's good to hear your voice.
Continue to listen. Yes, I'll continue to listen to the other people's submission.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would love to hear Lady Abon's voice. I don't know if she's able to speak. I know I've called you already in the past, but you're not able to speak. But I don't know if you are still not able to speak. Okay, if Lady Abon is not there, then I would throw it back to KOS. I know Princess likes leaving KOS to be the last to speak, so I copied that culture from Princess. So And KOS is supposed to be our facilitator, so she can have the floor now. Or our speaker today.
Thank you. I want to once again apologize that I'm unable to present this particular topic. I will find a way to make it up one way or
That's
the
okay,
other.
It's okay. Right.
Yes. I think everybody has made wonderful contribution. And in terms of leading an organization, I think you're talking about being selfless. Yes, it's important.
Yes.
Yes, it's important to be selfless and to form a culture where people can actually relate properly, where we run an open door policy and people can reach out. So even if there are issues, if that is the culture of the organization, it's very easy for everybody to communicate, and there will not be an issue of fear on the part of anyone. However, we still have to take it in the context of our culture. I support the man that spoke and said it's not going to be possible in government organization. I think in some government organization, it is possible, however minimal. But then with training and retraining, it will be possible for us to be able to achieve that in the context of our culture. Because our culture actually gives us directive and norms as to how we relate with people that are leaders. So not necessarily that people are scared, but there's this reverence one way or the other that we treat people that are ahead of us. So in that context, being a cultural thing, I think so we still have to be able to do that in that context. I didn't read the
Yeah.
book. I'm just speaking as
Yeah.
I pick one of the
Sure.
things that people have said.
I said, yeah.
How do I lead my own organization? I run an open door policy. People can reach out to me. Although there was a time, I mean, it was even sometimes last week we were having this conversation as in if you come into the office, you don't know who the CEO is. And I had an experience a couple of years ago. I used to run a cyber cafe in Lagos because a lot of people don't know that I own that place. It's over 20 years anyways. And then there was a time they came there. I think some police officer were looking for somebody that did something on the internet. And then they came and my staff, because nobody know me. And the moment she saw me, she said, that's the CEO, that's the owner, that's the owner. Because police were there. So sometimes in order for people to not take responsibility too, that happens. That happens. So
Absolutely.
but overall, I think for us to have peace of mind, for us to live happily, it's important to be selfless so that everybody is happy. We spend the majority of our time at the workplace. We want to be sure that our employees as well as ourselves are happy. My submission. Thank you.
Thank you so much, KOS. Very insightful contribution there. Thank you. And we are happy you are here. I mean, Princess, I just put that in the chat box. We're happy you're here. So I think I would personally still give you your flowers for being here. It's one of the great traits of a leader. You showed up. That's what matters. So thank you so much. I think I had Lady Ebon unmute herself. I didn't know if she wanted to speak. I don't know why I keep pushing for Lady Ebon, but anyways, if she's not able to speak, okay, I think she's unmuted again. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. You're welcome. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, ma. I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm having serious trouble here with my network.
Sorry about that.
So I don't know if the boardroom members can hear me. Good evening to you
Yes,
Confirm
all.
your location. Confirm your
yes,
location.
Yeah, I read the chapter, although to be honest, I'm not sure if I was able to grasp anything because I've been airborne for the past 13 hours. But I was able
Oh,
to pick
sorry.
from the discussion today, and it seemed as if a lot of us, should I say leaders or entrepreneurs, we actually or mostly have that selfless attitude as leaders in us. And for me, it's one of the reasons why I would say I've been able to survive with my staff for decades, because they say humility is priceless. So sometimes when you don't carry yourself as though you are the boss, it pays off, even though you have to draw the line. So I just needed to speak this evening so that I will know that I'm still functioning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and welcome back. I believe maybe you've just gone back to Nigeria or
Yeah, because I just got back.
elsewhere. Okay, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
And thanks for taking the time to still join. This is what we're talking about. We have great leaders in the BRG community. Okay, yeah, so I think we've covered everyone in the room. I don't know if Princess has any final words for us before we call it a day for this session. It's really been mind expository, mind blowing, mind boggling. So I would say thank you for your insights. Thank you for your contributions. Princess, over to you.
Thank you very much, Oluwatoyin, for facilitating this section, and also to everyone who had joined. Um, the thing is that I was very well informed that KOS will not be able to make it, and likewise even COSAM, because they are unavoidably absent. And I've been given the
They are the
reasons
money.
why
They
they
are the
can't
money
make it.
makers.
They are the money makers. Their feet are on the ground. So, but I'm grateful that QS was able to join into the call tonight, and the rest of us are able to do so. I've seen a couple of us work, in our organization. I've seen Eboha even on video call while she's in an establishment. And this approach of selflessness is very much, the practice, you know, because sometimes I don't even know. I think I practice it, but when I see everyone in their respective organization, it is really inspiring to watch. There was a day I was on phone with Eboha, you know, why she had recently lost her brother and all of that. But her tone of voice, trying to manage the hotel, the way she talks to the staff, I was wondering, I was amazed, and I think I never told her that. So receive your flowers to all of us who are practicing selflessness. Receive your flowers, and I think it's just the right way to go. While I said in the earlier comment that it may be conflicting because of the environment that we are. And personally, I do I do show off as a leader. So don't get me wrong. I love my bag being carried. I love the corner office. I love the big cars that come with the position as a CEO. But when it gets to the nitty gritty, I think about the people that I work with, empower them, integrate and collaborate with them, listen to them. And I think that is very important, and not necessarily show off, especially in the business premises, even though that status is there that you're the CEO. So for me, it's just the right thing to do. We need to be compassionate about the people we work with. There shouldn't be that much differentiation in terms of the status. You're already the owner, so there's nothing to prove. I hear a lot of people say, "Do you know who I am? Do you?" I'm like wondering, who are you? You know, in those early days of my childhood and growing up, I think I have used that comment. But at this stage, I think it's very unnecessary. You are nobody. You are just you. So just behave like a normal human being. And that's it. That's my contribution.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Princess. Yeah. So, I think on this note, we can safely end here. So thank you everyone so much for your time. I think it's been a very valuable time we've spent here. Discussions around how we can better lead. Yeah, so this is for every one of us, in areas where we feel that we have not been practicing the selfless leadership style. We can always go back and recalibrate our leadership styles and ensure that, we are making everyone, like, I love what KOS said, we spend most of our time in the workplace, so we should be able to make everyone happy, including ourselves. Thank you very much, and we'll see everyone for the last chapter tomorrow. Please, let's try and join in. It will also be a very, very insightful.
Please, let's try and read so that we can discuss. Because tomorrow is a all-together discussion in the house.
As well.
Also, yeah.
That's fine.
And tomorrow should be the last day.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Okay, so we'll see everyone again tomorrow, hopefully. Thank you, and have a good evening, good afternoon to KOS, good evening to the rest of us in the house. Bye, and see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.